What's going on, guys? A little bit of a change up here. Decided, I've been riding Giants for the better part of a decade. They make absolutely wonderful bikes. Decided to shift gears and try something new. So let's check this thing out. Based on how I ride, I've been a big fan of enduro bikes, and needing that long, slack, 6-inch range type bike is kind of what I need. So when given the opportunity, Knolly stepped up and offered to let me try out one of these Warden Carbons. After, like I said earlier, riding Giants for a decade, it's a real tough thing for me to move on from. But, given the conversation that we had and given the bike and the link, it was time to try something new. And after giving some time on this bike already, I can honestly tell you that link is a thing of beauty. It's no knock on the Rain itself. The Rain is a fantastic bike. It absolutely climbs awesome. It descends amazing. It does a lot of things really well. But one thing that it always kind of struggled with is the anti-squat. And, some it's an advantage. Others, they like that magic spot in their suspension where it's totally efficient. I always felt the Rain, it would kind of get hung up on things climbing, because rather than absorbing a bump, it would try to stay in that sweet spot for efficiency. Whereas this is fully active all the time. To be efficient, it requires a climb switch, which, if you've got tons of traction going up, tons of traction going down, out climbing the Rain, out descending the Rain, if a climb switch is your biggest problem, I think you're going to have a wicked time. So I've had a couple days on it, and this is a killer bike, an absolute killer bike. I couldn't be more excited to be working with these guys and to be riding some killer product. All internal cable routing from the top to the bottom. The cables are so secure in this, it doesn't make a sound. So cleverly thought out, so cleverly designed. I'm so far really impressed with the initial build quality, as well as some of the features and functions that you just take for granted, that you go, oh wow, how come more companies aren't doing these types of things? Something as simple as a threaded bottom bracket. I've had nothing but issues with my press fit BBs. They're always making sounds. They're high maintenance. These bikes are Ferraris essentially. So why not spend the money in manufacturing and give the riders what they want? I want a threaded bottom bracket. This bike has that. I want front derailleur mounts in case, I want to run a front derailleur. I want the option to do these kinds of things. And now I have them. The rear swing arm of this bike, if you look at the top where the Warden logo is, that piece is carbon fiber. On the Rain, the whole back end is aluminum. The bottom is still aluminum here, which makes a lot of sense due to chain slap. But once again, they integrate a rubber frame protector so that, in the event of chain slap, it quiets it down, it reduces the damage, and makes for a quieter, more enjoyable ride. On the lower shock mount, we can see we've got two positions here. On the Rain, you have one position all the time. For a guy like me that, feasts on Husky, Moose Mountain trails, sometimes some West Bragg, slack is giving me a 65.5 degree head angle. Well, neutral gives me a 66.5 degree head angle. So, for example, if I want to go to Moose one day and ride West Bragg Creek the next, the bike's able to do that. You're not going to be overriding the bike in one condition or the other. Really, really, really thought out engineering and smart in how they design their bikes. All hardware, all pivots, it's all titanium. There's no corners cut, no costs spared. It's, rider first, performance first. One of the things that I like to talk about with this is, you know what, Knolly is not a manufacturer. They are a frame designer and riders. And when you have a bike designed by an engineer, riding first and foremost as its number one priority and manufacturing costs second, you're going to get a better bike. Whereas some of the other guys, they're manufacturers, and design performance often takes a second seat to some of these features because all they're looking at is an Excel spreadsheet trying to keep costs down. As well, I'm pretty excited to ride this Devo Diamond. Been talking with a couple friends who are on them, and they've had nothing but good luck. I'm looking forward to it. I've had a number of rides on it already, and so far, you know, the only thing I can really compare it to, it's smoother than a Pike, and it feels similar to a like a 2005 Marzocchi 888 in terms of plushness and ramp up with modern damping. So far, super excited to ride this thing, and excited to report to you guys on it and let you know how I feel after a season of use. Down underneath the bike, we have an integrated frame protector, as well as a little bit of a compartment here, and that's used for housing Di2 batteries. It really helps out routing cables and brake lines, but more so than anything, it gives you options. It gives you freedom, and it makes the mechanic's life so much easier when they're routing this stuff. I'm also super excited to try out this DB coil inline. So it's a little bit lighter than the double barrel coil climb switch that I have. I still have that shock, so I have the ability to use it. But excited to try this out and see what kind of a pound it can actually take compared to its bigger brother there. So far, it's feeling smooth. I can barely notice the difference between the two. Setup is pretty simple as always, and performance is right there. So let's see if I can handle it, and if I can save a little weight. Great, awesome. So overall, if we kind of look at the general theme of the build, in the Noble wheels, the Devo fork, the Knolly frame, race face components, chromate components as well. You're kind of seeing a theme here. You know, a locals-ish type build that's kind of supporting the local guys and trying to get them a little bit more attention and so on and so forth. So exciting to get this thing out on the trails and pump out some videos and show you guys what I think. And in the meantime, check out the Knollys online. They're the real deal, and I'm really excited to share my thoughts. All right, guys, later.